Well, hi everyone, it's Carrie back with How to Homeschool My Child. It's a little hot out there, so I am still sort of in coolness type of clothes. You know, if you have been around me for very long, you know that I keep things real. And that means sometimes I don't go dress up for these videos. Everything. This is real life, and I know that you don't probably get up in the morning and get a special dress on or something to be able to teach your kids. So we're going to keep it real. The other thing we're going to do right now is talk about writing. If you're joining us, whether it's on the replay or whether it is live, please do something for me. We're talking about teaching our kids writing. And I don't know about you, but that is a very frustrating subject for many moms for a lot of reasons. And we're going to talk about those. But write down, what is the problem? What do you think your problem is as far as teaching writing? What makes it frustrating to you, or what makes it frustrating to your children? I would like to hear what that is. I would like to be able to address some of those issues. I know what I have heard from moms for a long time. And so we're going to talk about those, but if you have something in particular, please go ahead and write that down. Now, I may or may not have an answer for every single problem, but I am going to cover some pretty overall problems that I see. So what I do hear is that kids don't like writing. And I can tell you for a fact that's how my kids did this. I think we need to fix this. Or maybe you have, I would say, the girl who writes 17 pages and there's no point to it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. Or, you know, you have kids that don't know what to write about. There's a lot of things that are going on. Let me share my story, excuse me, and then I'm going to share my 3 tips. When we first started homeschooling, the girls were, I think, 8 and 10 years old, and I signed them up for a writing seminar in Houston. It was a 4-day seminar. We were going to go stay at my parents' house, and I didn't say a word to them because I wasn't quite sure what they would say. And a day or two beforehand, I said, hey, we're going to go to Grandma's for the week, and you get to go to a writing workshop. And they're like, oh, really, Mom? Complain. Do your kids ever complain about those kinds of things? Mine did. And so we went down there. And we spent 4 days in a writing workshop. Actually, they were in different classes. Hunter wasn't old enough, so he got to go with me to the zoo and the museum and wherever else I was taking the child that wasn't in the workshop. At the end of 4 days, it was Friday afternoon, rush hour traffic, trying to get out of Houston, Texas, back here to Bryan. Normally it would take me an hour and a half, probably took at least 2 hours to get back home. What did the girls do? They wrote the entire way. Seriously, they wrote in the back of the van the entire way home. What did that do? Those 4 days changed their attitude. And you're going, I need whatever that is. That's what I'm going to share with you. I will just tell you. They went down there for a seminar with Andrew Pudewa. He is the founder and owner of Institute for Excellence in Writing, IEW. Many of you have heard about him. Many of you have heard me talk about them. And just that's pretty much what I used for writing the entire homeschooling time. So for 10 years. And I had taught writing for 3 or 4 years in the public school. And I thought I knew what I was doing. Let me tell you, I learned so much about the best way to teach writing. Now, I can't cover every detail about what IEW does to teach, but I am going to give you some tips to help you along the way, and then I'm going to give you a free resource that will help you get personal instruction from Andrew Pudewa. So, the first thing is, kids don't like to write. And when we say, well, why don't you like to write? I don't know what to write about. They really don't. Or they may have a topic, but they still don't know what to write about. And so the tip number 1 is they are going to learn how to rewrite something in their own words. And we're going to do a little exercise right now. This is the Time Traveler book from Usborne. You could pick any book. Aesop's Fables works really well, but I didn't have time to find my Aesop's Fable book. So I just took this. Why things like this? Because there are short little paragraphs. You don't want to do the whole page. We're just going to look at this one paragraph right here and learn how to rewrite it in our own words. We don't want to plagiarize. Most kids copy a few words, they change one. They copy another few words, they change one. and they're like, well, I didn't completely plagiarize. You're right. So let me read this paragraph to you. It says, the time has come for Simon to be dubbed a knight. Several of his friends will be knighted with him. Tomorrow, after the ceremony, there will be feasts and jousts and gifts from the new knights to their friends. So all I did was just read this out loud. What I would do with my kids, and we did this exact exercise, is in there, 1, 2, 3, there are 3 sentences. So we're going to make a little list for each of those 3 sentences, and then we're going to put it away. So I'll do it this way. Okay, so we have sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3. The first sentence says, the time has come for Simon to be dubbed a knight. I would read that out loud. I'd say, child, or Ashley Gentry Hunter, tell me 3 words that would help you remember this sentence. And they may say Simon. Now they can't use, Simon. And if they say it in another order, it doesn't have to, we're not trying to get the exact thing. We're just rewriting it. And we know he wants to be a knight. And then they may say, Mom, what does dubbed mean? It means he becomes a knight. So instead of the word dubbed, you could use that, maybe becomes. Now, they may pick something else. They may pick the word time. It's time to become a knight. Okay, so there's sentence 1. Number 2 sentence. Several of his friends will be knighted with him. So what words would you think? And hey, if anyone's here and you want to participate, you just go right ahead. So I would say friends. And then I would say with him. Now, it's not what I say, it's what your child says. So that you're writing down, and they don't even have to use a pencil. You're writing down exactly whatever it is. Only 3 words. Now this next one's going to be a little harder because there's a lot of words in here. It says, tomorrow after the ceremony, I guess I could hold it up here. Tomorrow after the ceremony, there will be feasts and jousts and gifts from the new knights to their friends. So what would be the words that would help you, child, remember this sentence? And you know, they may use something completely different. Well, they may say tomorrow. So we're going to say tomorrow. They may say they're having a party because they got gifts and games and stuff. So maybe they do say party. And then maybe they look at it because they can't write tomorrow, feast, joust, gifts, and new knights. That would be 5 words. They only get 3. And you don't have to remember everything about it. But so maybe we say tomorrow, and maybe you say, well, if we can't remember all of those, what's a word that help us remember? It's a party, okay? And then maybe we'll also include feast, or we could have just used feast. So there's our 3 words. Then what we want to do is we're going to take this book and put it away. And we're going to say, child, here, right now, don't wait till tomorrow. It needs to be the same day. Here's what it is. I want you to tell me the story using these notes. Okay, well, Simon became a knight. He had some friends that became a knight with him. Tomorrow, they're all having a party and a feast. Now, they may remember some other things with it. Have they told back what it is? Yes. Did they use the exact same words? No. But they did tell what was going on with Simon. So they say it out loud. It's easier to look at this and say it out loud. Now, if you have little kids, when they say it out loud, you type whatever it is they say. And then you can use that for copy work. As they get to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, they say it out loud, and then they come here. After they say it out loud, you set this in front of them, and you can do this on paper. I'm just doing it on a whiteboard for y'all. Now I want you to go and I want you to write 3 sentences that will help us remember, and you can tell us the story of Simon. And that's what they do. And then you get back out and let them say it out loud again. They have just learned how to write something in their own words. Now, we go on beyond that. We learn story formats or essay, 1-paragraph essay, 5-paragraph essays. But a story usually has a paragraph, introductory, character, setting. There's a problem and then a solution. And so you can come up with an outline. And so we could do a paragraph with, say, 3 or 4 sentences for each one. But you read a story. You don't make them think it up. You read a story and then you let them retell it. Now let me just give you another example. We were reading an American Revolutionary story and we were using this process. And I was telling the kids, okay, now that we went through the whole outline, story, format, everything. Now I want you to write it in your own words. Now, if you want to change some things in this story, you can change anything except the problem, because we don't want them to lose the problem. The problem is what holds the story together and makes it interesting. So Ashley rewrote it in American Revolution. Gentry rewrote it, I don't remember what, no, I think Gentry rewrote it exactly like it was, whatever the story was. And it wasn't American Revolution. Whatever we read, she wrote it exactly like it was. Not exact word for word, but the same characters and setting. Ashley took the story we had read and turned it into an American Revolution story because she was just enthralled with that. Hunter rewrote it as Winnie the Pooh in the 100-Acre Wood. Does it really matter? No, but they're learning the process of writing a story. And stories are important. I used to think storytelling was not worth learning. It is very important. We learn more from stories than any other way. And there are so many jobs out there that need to know how to write a story. And I have one of those jobs. So first thing is you need to teach your kids how to rewrite just using a simple list or outline in their own words. That takes away the problem of I don't know what to write about, because you can choose a paragraph where you can say, hey, let's look at this book and we just read this page. Let's just find one. So we just read Afternoons at the Greece Bath and Roman Bath. So let's pick one of these paragraphs and let's talk about it and rewrite it, and let your child choose it as well. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, use checklists. Checklist. Why? When we are teaching writing, especially to younger kids, but even for older kids, they get one of 2 grades. It's either complete, they make an A, or it's incomplete, do it over. All right, we don't A, B, C, D, it's done. Because if they do everything in the checklist properly, they have done what you expect them to do. What does a checklist do? It tells your child exactly what you're looking for. Not, oh, don't you want to add a little more detail in here? Or, oh, don't you think we should sort of maybe, oh, let's make this little sentence a little better. No, if they do what you have on the checklist, they're done. For this particular very simple thing, I would say, with little kids, I would say, number 1, each sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with an end point. Okay, and if that's true, and you can have sentence 1, 2, and 3, you can check it off, and they've done that. All words are spelled correctly. Check it off. Retells the story of Simon, and if it does, check it off. They're done. The problem is they don't always do everything that you want them to. Now, this is a very simple way. We learn how to improve the writing over time. I'm just giving you a way to get past that reluctance to write and to not want to turn it in because they don't know what you're going to do with it. Who wants to get a paperback with red blood all over it? I certainly don't. So use a checklist. It tells your kids what your expectations are. Complete or incomplete, do it over grades. And also with the checklist, you learn maybe they missed some commas that they needed. You don't tell them that because you didn't teach them commas. If you haven't taught them that, you can't expect them to do it. So in the next lesson, you teach them commas or whatever is missing or whatever has been goofed up. All right? Teach it in the next lesson. If they do what you asked them to on the checklist, and I usually have a checklist, but I don't. Maybe I'll pull one out later this week and do a live on that. But anyway, that's something you can do. Tip 1, you rewrite something that's already written so they know what they're writing about. Tip 2, you use a checklist. Tip 3, this is for moms that maybe are saying, I'm just going to check, you're not really sure how to teach writing to your kids, or you lack the confidence. You feel like, well, I wasn't a good writer. Neither was I. I mean, I remember getting my master's in curriculum instruction, and oh, my professor is like, that doesn't make sense. It probably still doesn't make sense, some of the things I write, y'all. But if you're feeling like not confident, you're not sure what to do, I have another tip, and that is some free classes to help you. This weekend, Andrew Pudewa is teaching 5 live workshops completely free. It is his live summer workshop. It is on June 25th, I believe, and the link is in the description right here. Just go right now and sign up for it. Do not pass go. He is one of the best teachers. Y'all know, because I have him at our conferences all the time, not just on teaching writing, but all sorts of things. He is going to take this idea of reaching the reluctant writer and give you more ideas than this. Let me just give you the topics, the 5 workshops that he's going to give. And if any of these are items that you think will help you, sign up. It is free, okay? Reaching the reluctant writer. Principles of motivation. How do we motivate our children to write? But what about grammar? What about that grammar thing? He's got a whole workshop on that. 4 deadly errors of teaching writing. What are the 4 mistakes that you might be making about teaching writing? Find out and then find the solutions for them. Culture, curriculum, and care. Building community in a time of need. And I talked to him last year about this when we had our Life Skills Leadership Summit. So I won't go into detail, but if you missed it, then you can get it for free right here. So those are great workshops. There is a break in the middle. It's completely online. So just go to that website that's in the description and you can sign up. Now, there are other resources that I would recommend from IEW. You can go to IEW.com/Carrie Beck. It does have a capital and a B, but I don't know if you need it. IEW.com/Carrie Beck. You will find more writing lessons for free. You will find I think there's some poetry lessons for free. They're probably a little trying out their grammar. And then as you scroll down, if you find some resources that would help you, you can get them right there. I will tell you right now, yes, I am an affiliate. If you click my link and you end up buying something over the next 6 months, yes, I will get a sales commission. I want you to know up front, but I will tell you that things like that are what keeps this community group going, because it helps me pay for the things that we need to keep our business going and to be able to offer you free resources. And so just to let you know, yes, I will benefit a little bit from it. So that's IEW.com/Carrie Beck, KERRYBECK. Now, I highly recommend the summer conference. We will go deeper. He has a whole workshop on the reluctant writer. I only talk here for 10 to 20 minutes. So let's just review the 3 tips. Tip number 1 is rewrite something in your own words. Teach your children how to rewrite it using the list and only 3 words. I didn't tell you this, but if there's a number here, let's say he had 5 friends and you put the number 5, it doesn't count as a word. Isn't that cool? So, or if you put the little and sign, it doesn't count as a word. So you could do that as well. So rewrite in your own words. Number 2 is use a checklist. Make sure your kids know what you expect from them. And then number 3 is sign up for the free summer conference. Highly, highly recommend it. I do want to go back to the checklist and the kids, the younger kids. I want you to know what I did with Hunter. When he was young, he would go through this process. We did get longer paragraphs and stories. But a lot of times he would stand up and tell me the story and I would type it. And then we could use it either for copy work if I typed it correctly, or maybe I made some mistakes, or maybe the words he said didn't make subject verb agree. I would type it and then he would edit it, especially as he learned to dress up his sentences and use different ways for sentence openers. I would write exactly what he had to do, and then he had to go in and improve his writing with the different techniques that I was teaching him. So that is one way when they're in like 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, a 1st grader, they could be doing this, but spend more time just learning how to write your letters and write a complete sentence before you move into this. I would say this shouldn't be starting till at least 2nd or 3rd grade. That would be the best. All right, if you have any questions on the replay or the live, let me know, and you can actually, I will be checking that. I was just going to see. Sometimes I get different things on my computer than I do here. I will just double check. Anyway, yep, that is it. Thanks for spending time with me. I will be back later this week. I'm Carrie Beck with How to Homeschool My Child. Y'all have a great day.